Jason Spengler of the SanteeSwapper. This almost never happens that I get a collection from Canada. In fact, this one's from British Columbia, Canada. Now, a couple of reasons for that. One is these governments don't make it easy anymore to mail things over the border, and so I generally, for that reason, kind of avoid selling stuff unless it's through another service to go across the border. But also because Canadian stuff is just a language I don't really speak, no pun intended. But when in terms of like understanding the differences between Canadian badges, whether they're rank patches, position patches, whatever, I've never collected that. I don't really speak the language, and so I do oftentimes have Canadian people reach out to me from watching YouTube videos or my website. And every once in a while, they have some American items that I'm really interested in. And that's what happened in this case. Now, it's kind of fun here. The guy wanted me to read out the name of his company because he's kind of like an estate sale company type deal. And when I got this message, the title was from the name of his business, Scruffy Looking Junk Herders. Scruffy Looking Junk Herders. There you go. That's pretty unusual. You'll remember that one. And so this guy was super nice. We talked back and forth. He was helping with an estate sale, and the people before the estate sale wanted to find someone who would appreciate the scouting memorabilia. So they dealt directly with me, and I was able to make them an offer, got things sealed up, and he mailed me the box. And so I want to open this for you. Okay, so I got the box open. There's a little note here from this guy. His first name is James and has a little nice note for you. Um, Great talking to you. Thank you for your kind and quick responses, sharing your expertise with us. We hope you have some fun opening this package and that your subscribers do as well. That's you. So hopefully you do enjoy this. And this is fun to see what we've got. So we'll kind of get into this and see. Now, of course, some Canadian stuff. This is a Boy Scouts of Canada calendar, 1977. So you can see that. Now, later, it's going to become, I believe, called Scouts Canada. Well, actually, it was Scouts Canada here, but it says Boy Scouts of Canada. I'm not sure why I would have two different ones there, but everything's really nicely packaged. Now, all of this stuff, I believe, was in a display case, and they were taking, or maybe it was in albums. It was stored somehow where things were kind of grouped together, and that's why he has these sheets of paper in between. So you can kind of see here, these are what we would sort of call, call them tourism patches. You can kind of see there's these little logos from visiting different cities and stuff, and so I don't believe that all of these are scout patches. I think that's a scout patch there, but I think these are more sort of touristy patches based on that sort of shield shape. But then again, I said there's some Boy Scout stuff. So look at this. Here's a 1957 Explorer Rendezvous for a council in, I believe, Kansas. So that's pretty cool. It's got that caw symbol, the compass anchor wings. You can kind of barely make it out. And I do like Explorer stuff. That might go in my collection. And then check this out. This is kind of cool. Now, I don't know that this is Boy Scouts, but Alaska Purchase Bicentennial. It's got some dates on it again. So this collection, the thing it had going for it was it does have some age on it. It is an older collection, and there were things in here from the 1960s, which I thought were pretty cool. Now, obviously, this one's probably more of a Australia thing. This is from the World Jamboree in 1967, so somebody traded for that. So I think that's the connection for me is that the Canadian scout who attended the this 67 World Jamboree. Here's a Scouts Mexico name strip. That's where they traded for this American stuff, and so that's kind of where I'm hoping to bring it home a little bit. So again, a lot of stuff here that is international, but then here's from the 67 World Jamboree. This is the little segment that you got for doing the camp-wide game, and this went underneath your patch. And then, of course, here's another American camporee patch, just Montranuska Valley, Alaska. There are a couple of Alaska patches in here that I was real interested in, and I'm sure we will come across them just a minute. So we keep pulling these sheets out. So Nanook Lodge is or the Arrow Lodge in Western Alaska Council. This is kind of a pre-fleur-de-lis. This one's one that I've seen a lot of, but I always thought it was cool with a polar bear. Not many lodges down in the 48 states are going to have a polar bear as their totem. And then here's like a little CP, what's a little council patch, a 2-inch rounder for the Alaska Council. And so again, traded with some stuff. This is from California. That's from California. So definitely some American stuff kind of came home. Long's Peaks Council camper. Here's a Scouts Mexico patch. I'll have to kind of research some of this stuff. I don't know a whole lot about some of these internationals. And I get a lot of these in. That's a Eagle Scout patch from the 1950s and 60s. Had that same patch for a long time, and so those are pretty common. Again, just a whole other sleeve here of international patches. I won't be able to hold all of these up, but some of them are pretty cool. Like, check that out. That's from Nepal. That traveled a long way to get here, so that's kind of cool to see. And then more stuff. And then I thought this was kind of cool when I saw this. So this is really super thin. I mean, it's almost like paper thin, but it's a UK contingent patch to the 1967 World Jamboree. So Essex would be like a county or a district in the UK, and then this is their patch for attending that event. This is the actual 67 World Jamboree regular participant patch. I've got millions of these, and you've seen these in lots of collections. So that's not as interesting to me as these contingent pieces. This is just a Valley Forge here, 1964 Los Angeles Area Council. I think that's more of an event patch as well. Neat looking one. Let's see if I can keep pulling these off and just keep showing you guys some of the cool stuff. Again, they sort of, preserved it as it was in the frame. So a lot of tourism type stuff. This is the kind of stuff that maybe I'll be able to research and recycle back and find out where it's from. Again, Buckskin Reservation. Here's a West Virginia camp patch along with a 64 Jamboree patch. I got a lot of those. Check out this guy. Again, what this guy was trading for. Daniel Webster Council. This is a pie-shaped patch, which means that it was meant to go on a neckerchief. And my guess is this probably was sort of a Jamboree contingent patch. It doesn't say that, but I don't see many in this shape that don't have a year or a date on them. So that would be my guess for that. And it's got a little bit of soiling in it, but not bad at all. Again, Indonesia. I mean, patches just from all over, which is cool. Now, this one I thought was really interesting. I have never seen this patch before. It's an event patch, so it's probably not going to be a real banger, but it is from the Georgia Carolina Council, which is right bordering me, and it's the fourth annual Delegate Conference, 1966, Exploring New Horizons. So I'm going to ask some friends to tell me if they know what was this about. A fourth annual conference, and it kind of looks like maybe it was for explorers. I'm not sure, but it's a really large patch. Not quite a jacket patch, but you can see if I hold it up to the pie, it is kind of a bigger jumbo patch. I mean, I don't think this would fit on your shirt, I wouldn't think. But I've never seen that event patch, and the fact that it's, from kind of my backyard here, I thought was kind of cool. So here's some other ones that are kind of cool. Again, I need to research what this is. This is from the 63 World Jamboree. To my knowledge, the 63 World Jamboree doesn't have a true contingent patch. They kind of have those little medals that you got. And this is a super, super thin, almost silk screened type badge. This is the kind of thing you often see in European countries. These were easy and cheap to make, but this one is kind of cute because it's from the 63 World Jamboree in Greece. And I like that little logo. This is probably the reason why I bought this whole collection was for this one right here. I'm definitely going to put this one in my permanent collection. So again, this is that Nanook Lodge, but this is their first flap. So this is their F1, as we would call it in Scouting memorabilia. And that just simply means when they made flaps to go on the shirt, this was the first one. So I have a collection of lodge flaps from all over the country, and I think I'd rather have this one in my collection than the one I currently have. And it does have a little distinctive shape to it. It has this little point that kind of dips down, which is a little unusual for other designs, but it's a really, really clean example of this, and I'm definitely happy to get that and add it to my collection. Here's the 67 World Jamboree jacket patch. I've got a lot of these from collections. Greater New York Council's Camp Alpine. This is part of the 10 Mile River Scout Reservation. I've seen this jacket patch many times. Same thing with this one, also from that area, Greater New York Council. They've had a huge camp there, 10 Mile River, for many, many years. See what this guy is, just a little coin from the 67 World. More stuff from 67. Here's the leather patch that went with that set. I actually had these from another collection not long ago. This is a Quebec Service Center, Nebraska Mormon Trail. Okay, I don't think that's a scout patch necessarily, but somebody. Then here's a camp patch from Georgia. Again, stuff just from all over. This person he did a lot of trading at this jamboree, got stuff from all over. That's kind of cool. Sea Scouts of Canada, might be some interest in that. Lehigh Council in Pennsylvania, some other event patches. Another Scouts Canada here, British Columbia, where this stuff was from. Okay, so this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like, to me, there should be an interest in this. So this is 67 World Jamboree held in Ohio, the first World Jamboree ever hosted by the Boy Scouts of America. And this is the Canadian contingent patch. In fact, this might be one that I keep in my collection because my collection, I don't collect necessarily all of the World Jamborees in the sense of like, I got to have everything from that World Jamboree. My sort of theory is I want to have a sort of like one frame, like a 12 by 16 red frame for each World Jamboree. And in there, I would have like the leather, and I'd have the jacket patch, and I'd have all that stuff. But then I might have some stuff like this, like a cool country contingent patch that just kind of, helps make that a little more interesting. So I think that one might be a keeper for that collection. There's a couple of felt pennants in here as well, which I think are cool. Probably more of a thing in other countries, this pennants, but there's one from, I'm really not sure where it's from, maybe from Canada. This is Scouts of Honduras. Cool little pennant there that someone traded for. And then this one, I believe it's a Scout one, but I couldn't tell you where it's from or what that means. And then here's another one. Check this out. Scouting on Thailand. Again, just some cool stuff. Maybe somebody would really appreciate getting this. And then the old Baden Powell House in London. How many people have been to that over the years? Lots and lots and lots. And there's one last one hiding here. I love that little logo there. The Bolivia. Yeah, Scouts in Bolivia. And it's got sort of that Art Deco drawing on it, which is really cool. So again, I said at the beginning of this that I don't usually buy stuff from Canada, but this was sort of like a time capsule collection, as I describe it, where someone went to the 67 World Jamboree and traded like crazy for stuff from all over the world, and then also had some really cool pieces from America that definitely wanted me to get those. So once again, let me give a shout out where the credit is due. If you are in British Columbia, Canada, check out Scruffy Looking Junk Herders, A New Hope Estate Services. Jamie and Bree would love to help you out. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate you helping with this and letting me buy this collection from you. Definitely some of these pieces are going in my permanent collection. And then as always, my mission is to recycle these and find the people out there who would like to have some of these patches, like patches from Nigeria, for example. Oh boy, I got my work cut out for me. Jason Spangler, the SanteeSwapper. This is what I do, buy scouting memorabilia collections. If you have a collection like this, maybe not one from all over the world, but one from your time in scouting or a loved one's, or maybe one like you found recently that was a picker who found something in Georgia and got it to me. I would love to talk to you. Go to my website, scoutpatchcollectors.com. There you can find my phone number, my email. You can send me a text message. I'd love to just hear the story and see if we can work out a deal for me to help you recycle these scouting items back into the program. Appreciate it very much for watching.